Hey everybody, welcome back to Durbin's Bourbon. I'm Joe.
And I'm Josh.
Today's whiskey review is a 12-year bourbon out of Kentucky, Calumet Farms. This particular whiskey is one of the lineups. They have a 6-year, no, an 8-year. They have a 12-year. They have, I think it is a 6-year too.
Is it labeled 6-year?
I have one. The one we had in the...
I have one at my house, but it doesn't have I don't think it has an age.
I think that's the one that's not labeled, but it's... I had like another one in my hand, and it was an 8-year, and I almost got that one. Then I saw the 12-year, and I saw the noticeable difference in color, and so I picked it up. The 12-year is going for $99 in our state.
Ooh, $99.
The 8-year was $47. Just call it almost $50. The mash bill is 74% corn, 18% rye, and the remainder 8% barley. It is out of Bardstown. It's distilled in Bardstown, Kentucky. It doesn't say what distiller. We do know that Calumet Farms does source their whiskey in Kentucky, and it's probably either done at Heaven Hill, who does a lot of contract whiskeys, or it could be 1792 juice as well. But they have their mash bill that they want, and so they age it. This stuff is 12 years old. It's a very, very small batch. I think, if I remember correctly, what did it say? 19 barrels. Single rack, 19 barrels. So it is a really, really small batch bourbon that's produced for them.
Got a great nose, I think.
Does it? Yeah. It has a really, really nice, deep color,
very
too.
Very caramely.
Going for a nose. Ooh, there's some vanilla. 18% rye. I wish it wasn't quite such a high rye for me, but
I like it. Well, I don't know if I like this yet, but I like high rye.
We've got another review of Calumet Farms coming at you too that Josh broke the bank on and picked it up. It's a 15-year Calumet Farms. It's going to be coming your way. Nice nose, some vanilla, some caramel, some dark fruit like a cherry, kind of a...
Almost got a little coconutty.
Yeah, I could see coconut. Boy, there is
It's like a hint, not like... it smells delightful to me.
There is some awful dark cherry.
Yeah,
dark cherry note.
It's almost that burnt wood.
Yeah. A little bit of leather, 12 years.
Yep, I was going to say that.
A lot of times bourbons, 12 years can be a sweet spot for it. Just depends on the mash bill. Center racks, they said, from where this is coming from, so it's not really high in the warehouse, where it's going to have a lot of that heat and humidity pushing the juice back and forth in the barrels a lot more rapidly. So they keep it more in a central area where it's not as hot or super cold, so it's got a moderate amount of movement. So it'll be curious to see.
Try it.
Yeah.
It's got a good nose, I think.
It does. Yeah, the nose is pleasant. Cheers. Cheers, everybody. It's kind of a creme brulee on the palate, that first sip. It's somewhat buttery and soft.
Yes. Butterscotchy, too. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that creme brulee is good. It's like dark cherry. What is it? There's something else. Almost pineapple? I got that on something else.
Maybe. Yeah, it might be.
Like a charred pineapple. I don't know if you've ever done that on your barbecue. But
I have not.
It's delicious. Like really? Candies the sugars.
Huh. That would probably be delicious.
I got pineapple on something else, too.
You did. What was that?
But yeah, I get like that definitely dark cherry. God, it's got a deep... What is that? It's not vanilla.
There's a leather note in there. I'm picking up some leather, some char. 12 years. It's not It's not oaky. It's not over.
Definitely getting the rye though at the end.
You are. Yep. I agree. There is some rye in here.
There's something else on there. It's definitely not a sweet whiskey. Packs a punch. It's hot.
What yeah, 94 proof. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
there's
100 and something. It's gonna be real.
Yeah. There's kind of a tannic kind of note, tannin kind of a note in there.
Like
almost bitter. No. It's more of a it's kind of almost bitter.
I get that from the rye at the end.
I think that might be where that's coming in.
I definitely get the bitter.
Some orange peel, that bittery kind of orange peel.
For sure, orange peel. Citrus,
yeah. So the nose and palate are kind of similar.
The nose definitely is sweeter than the palate,
yes.
I think. Gurgles.
A little gurgle. I'm trying out a new product called Green Vibrance. We'll see what happens. Oh no, it's moving around. No. It's a pleasant bourbon. 12 years.
It's worth $100 though.
I don't think so.
If it was like 40 or 50, I'd be like, oh, this is great.
I don't think it is $100
I'm scared to try the other
one. We are suckers for age statements. Yeah. I love age statements. I like the mash bill on there. It is a bourbon made and distilled in Kentucky. So at least they've got that much going for what's on the bottle. They really don't say a whole lot more. It's bottled down. Did it say in Bowling Green, was it? Or this one was Bardstown?
No, that was distilled in Bardstown.
Oh, yep. Bottled for Western Spirits by Three Springs Bottling Company, Bowling Green, Kentucky. So
it's a very strong bourbon.
It is.
So it's like it's good.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Robust.
Yeah, it's very bold and the flavors are deep. So it's good. I just don't know if it's worth $100.
Yeah,
40 or 50 all day long.
Yeah, it's a $50. You know what? It's kind of comparison to. Don't freak out there in TV land or whatever, but it's kind of comparable in boldness to Blanton's. You know how Blanton's has some of that spice and that leather note, and Blanton's is younger than 12 years. Blanton's is an eight-ish year
That's
bourbon.
A single barrel, so it's a little
different.
It's a single barrel,
but that's true. But it has some of that robustness that Blanton's typically has. So
I think it's good. I would say if you can afford it, buy it. But it's for $100. I think you could get 2 bottles of something better.
Yes. Yeah. With tax out the door, I think it was 106 or 101 or something like that.
It'd be probably at least
106. Yeah. So I don't think it's worth $100. It'd be worth $50. I'd probably pay 50 or 60.
Yeah. Pushing 70, you'd be getting to where you're probably like, I'm not sure, but
yeah,
it's a good bourbon. I would not say it's a bad bourbon, but I think it's overpriced.
Right.
I'd say.
Yep, I agree with that.
But if you can afford it, and it's not a big deal, I'd buy it.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good, strong, high rye, a lot of character to it.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's a mature bourbon.
Yeah, it's a good bourbon, just not worth the price. Is what I would
agree.
Suggest.
As it sits and that rye.
Yeah, I think if you try. I almost feel like after it oxidizes too, like come back in a month and try it again. I bet it gets a little better.
It might soften up a little bit. I agree.
It's pretty strong.
It is. It's a very bold, strong bourbon. The nose is better than the palate, but the palate isn't bad.
Correct.
The palate is good.
Very high rye finish.
Yeah, I'll sip on that. I mean, not a lot at $100. That's probably going to last for a while. Yeah. But I would have to compare this to 1792's 12 year and see which one I like better.
There you go.
Because that's a 12 against 12, possibly the same distillery, but we know that it's sourced through one of them, so it's going to be their flavor profile that they're searching.
And with that high rye too, the barrel brings out the rye flavor the longer it stays in there, so it's just getting more character, and I think pulling out more of the rye flavors.
The
They're
8-year
deeper, obviously, than like a young rye.
Right.
It's good. It's just
It makes me curious what the 8-year Calumet Farms that I had in my hand and decided to put it back.
The one I have, because I think I like the one in my house. I drink it so far between.
Right.
But I got it years ago.
Right, you did. And we did a review of it. We'll have to look back through the reviews.
I bet we like it.
Probably did. There's not a lot of bourbons we don't like.
Correct.
Even
Just we're trying to do price point per
Right.
flavor, and I would say this one's overpriced. Not by a huge amount, but by a decent amount.
A fair amount, yeah. I agree 100%. Decent bourbon. It's overpriced. So there you have it. We hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. And as always, enjoy your whiskeys and bourbons
Any way you like.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, pal.
Cheers, buddy.